What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining in from. But Wereth, Cody, Akito, Shadow, Leo, EM, Locus. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the stream. Thank you for being here. Leo said there's a dev stream, right? They are doing one this month, yeah. Well, technically we don't know for sure, but they should be. They should be. Ready for some Halloween-based horrors in DC. Yep, the Halloween event's coming up. We'll talk about that for sure. Akito's got the itinerary listed. What's up, Andre, Scott, Troll, Callum, Daniel, Jeremy? Good to see you all. Connor said, I've got all your cosmetic items. That's sick, dude. I hope you like them. Thank you very much for engaging with the event. This was such a nice, it was a nice day in game when I was standing here, and then it started pouring down right as I hit live. Delta, what's going on? Treasy, all is well indeed. Just chilling. Having a great Tuesday. Hope you are too. Mayhem said it's 3:27 a.m. for me right now. That's insane. Thank you for making the time to be here. Please make sure you get some sleep as well. That's very important. There we go. Chris did it. Akito called it. Before I move my character whatsoever. Chris coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, dude. Going to Hakan, Connor, Zerk, Sugar Skull, and Suguchi. I hope that's the right way to say it. Welcome, folks. If you're here, please give Chris a thank you for the generosity. Sorry, I realize it's like kind of warm in my room. I had to go. Actually, one sec. Let me turn the fan on. I was cold all morning, and then as soon as I start the stream, I guess I'm just nervous. What can I say? Chris, again, thank you very much, dude. Libertarian, what's up? Jeremy said your shirt is pretty sick. Thank you, thank you. Can't stop wearing the RG hoodie. Hell yeah. Recovering from knee surgery, so lovely stream to sit and watch. Callum, thank you for being here, man. I hope you're able to recover quickly. I know that can be a pretty big deal. What's up, Sean? Doing well? Hope you are too. Beaver, can't wait to see what the devs have in store for us in October. Yeah, we'll get into it for sure. Alright, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say the rest of your name, but not a stupid question at all. The other cosmetics, so the patch specifically that I'm wearing was from codes that they gave us. I've unfortunately run out of codes, so I cannot offer you one of those. They are working on getting us more. The other stuff, I'll just run out here while we talk, can be grabbed from open world bags. So give me just 1 second and we'll go over there and I'll show you. Steph, I'm doing well. Doing very well. Hope you are too. What's the targeted loot today? We can take a look in a minute. What's up, Peter? Thank you for rocking the stuff. Glad you like it. Civilians in distress. So what's up, people? We already have 150 of y'all hanging out. Welcome, welcome. 160, rather. Sorry, I had a delayed screen. Gonna be a pretty chill stream today. There is, as we will look at in a second, very little going on in-game itself. So I mostly just wanted to chill, hang out, talk about what we know is coming later in the month. And so, yeah, don't expect anything too crazy. But we're just gonna have a good time. So, as far as the other items, I was hoping there was a backpack down here. But anyway, boxes like these, sometimes you'll find ones that are like suitcases or backpacks in the open world, and these have a chance to drop the shirt, the hoodie, and the hat. That's how you get those 3. They will be dropping from there until October 21st. That is when the event ends. So if you want to get one of them, then be sure to check it out before then. Any DZ today? You know, I was thinking about it. It is LMGs over in Invaded, so we might go hang out there a little bit. I would be down. So long as I don't get stream sniped, which seems to be happening more and more, which is super fun. Samich, I'm going to assume that's the name. Any new DZ farming vids in the works? Love that series. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have, ever since that last one, we can get going, by the way. Well, actually, hold on. Let me address that once we start playing. There's the last thing I wanted to do before we just got into it was do the usual weekly what's going on in game. They added a new Scorpio exotic skin, which looks pretty cool. You can see in the display thing, like, it shows you a holographic projection of what current status you're going to apply to the enemy. Very cool idea. I don't know if I'm going to get it because I just don't use the Scorpio that much. But yeah, that's there. And then they brought back the Blackout bundle. I always get a lot of questions on where I got this mask, which is the See No Evil mask. So if you were waiting for it, it's in the store right now. That's the only way to get it. And then they also brought back the big bad one, which I kind of want to get this vest at some point. I'll have to think on it. It's here for 2 weeks. Aside from that, there's no events going on right now. Kenley's closed, reanimated, ended. The Rainbow Six event is still going on, of course, for another week. And then this Friday, we have another one of those surge events where brand materials are going to be dropping at increased quantities. So I'll definitely be playing that. I'm still trying to get Habsburg pieces. I think we were farming for that last week. So I'm probably going to be doing Countdown and deconstructing Habsburg stuff to cash in on that. Otherwise, not too much going on, and that's what I said in my most recent news video. I was like, October's probably going to be pretty quiet until the stuff starts kicking off with Halloween and Survivors and all of that. I'm going to activate the Scout so we can get going on this while we continue chatting. Just west of the White House, hold the area. I assume that means control points, but we'll just go mess around and figure it out. Chris said I only stream snipe to try and help, and it's appreciated. No, there's been more and more people who are not trying to help that have hunted me down in there recently, including when I'm not live. Like, if I just am seen in the dark zone at all, like, people know my account at this point, it's not good news. That's why I was never interested in, naming my Xbox account RogueGold, because I would rather not be known. But at a certain point, I suppose it's inevitable. The Goo Guy coming in with the 5-month member message. Thank you very much, dude, for being a member, especially at the classified tier. Any future in-game creator content for future seasons? If you mean for me personally, if there were, I would not be able to tell you because of NDAs. I had to sign an NDA for the one that's currently happening in-game right now. So if the answer was yes, I wouldn't be able to tell you yes. But for me, no, there's nothing lined up right now. Which, I mean, come on, I'm already lucky enough to be wearing a patch with my logo on it. I think that's more than I could ask for, so I'm perfectly happy. But the devs have said that they are planning on doing similar events to what's happening right now with more creators moving forward. So I'm sure those people will announce that whenever they're able to. Thank you again for the 5 months. Bartos, what's up? Good to see you. Okay, was going to answer Sandwich's question about a new DZ farming video. The answer is I had very much intended to and wanted to. I think I mentioned in the last one I did where I got the Eagle Bear that I was like, yeah, we're going to keep doing videos, getting the Ravenous and the Bighorn and all of that. I have tried a good, I want to say 3 or 4 times to record one since then. I think majority of those were on days where it was targeted ARs or rifles. I think I tried one where it wasn't. It's tough, man. PvP is not in a good state, as I pointed out in a video a few weeks ago. when you constantly run into people with, you know, 100,000 armor regen builds that can also deal an insane amount of damage with the big horn, or mortar turrets, or bonk builds, or just all the stuff that's there, it becomes very hard to be anywhere near successful as a solo player in the DZ. So the answer is I'm still trying my best to do another one, but it's proving to be very difficult, unfortunately. Because it seems like every passing month, PvP is doing worse and worse. But you all can rest assured that on top of the video that I made about PvP recently, I've also made my thoughts that I just laid out there very clear to the devs, so they know it's not doing well. And we'll see if anything comes from that. I would certainly hope so. But I'm going to make another video tomorrow. That's like sort of game commentary, sort of channel update. Because PvP has declined so much, specifically recently, and because of overall game difficulty right now, like retaliations for how I am as a player have not really lived up to the difficulty level that I would have hoped. I'm not playing a whole lot right now, aside from when I'm making videos. And so, and yeah, those are really the main two reasons, is lack of PvP challenge and enjoyment and lack of PvE difficulty. Of course, there's stuff like Legendary, and people are like, go run Legendary with just a pistol with 5 directives on. And I mean, I could do that, sure. But that's not really the type of difficulty that I look for or enjoy in the game, you know? Sorry, huge tangent, but let me try and catch up on chat here.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Have the devs fixed the Journey 8 mission? Not yet, but it is on the known issues board. They're aware, and so hopefully it'll come with point 2 in a few weeks. Lucas is heading out. Sorry, I probably missed your message, dude, but thank you for jumping in. Good to see you. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, no problem, Sandwich. And I apologize. I know a lot of people want more episodes in that series, and I am very appreciative for how popular that those videos got. I think we did kind of hit lightning in a bottle where I was able to do so many so quickly, and it's good that at least we have the one bookend of getting the Eagle Bear. So we'll see what the future of those is. Slade, if you're still here, have a good one. Thank you for jumping in. I'm only like half looking at the game right now. Did that count for the... Okay, it did. But I think it's just activities. I think I could probably do something else. But we'll just go do the other one, because why not? PvP in this game was supposed to be toxic. Cheating's not cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be toxic. I don't know if I prescribe to that idea. Having proximity chat in any PvP experience is going to bring some level of toxicity, but I think ideally that's just meant to create more tension and dynamic moments between players, right? I personally think if you're talking in terms of like the Division 3 coming in the future, I think the Dark Zone structure needs a little bit of reform, because I think we've kind of played it out to its limit. That doesn't mean I want to get rid of rogues or get rid of the whole manhunt deal. Like, that's some of my favorite stuff to do in the game, but I think the always persistent nature of the DZ and how it functions now needs a bit of change. You know, it's no longer 2016. But anyway. I can say this name. Nakudra? I'm probably saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But said, I'm hoping you're covering Arc Raiders, can't wait for it. I'm glad you brought it up. I did mention it in my stream post yesterday that, well, we should probably just talk about what's happening this month, since that's the whole title of the stream. October is starting out slow, but we have, in my mind, 3 major events. Well, 2 things for Division, 1 otherwise. Coming. That is the Survivors news that they've confirmed is coming this month. I'm hoping that'll happen next week, maybe, to kind of bridge the gap between now and the Halloween event. And then later in the month, probably on the 21st, from what they've said, is when we should get Year 7 Season 2.2, the patch, which of course will bring fixes and whatever else, and we'll kick off the Halloween event, which seems to be, from what they've said, the largest seasonal event that they've ever done. Because they're going to implement world decorations. They're going to have a brand new boss with this huntsman guy. You can hunt his warhounds in the open world and get clues to where he is. That's what they've said. We'll see if it's really that involved or not. And of course the usual project chain, everything else. So I'm very much looking forward to the Halloween event. And as I said, that'll be towards the end of the month. But then the last thing, yeah, says, I'm just going to say Nocturnal, even though that's not your name. I apologize. But mention Arc Raiders, that is coming out on the 30th. I've done a few videos on Arc Raiders over the years, if you don't know what it is. Upcoming third-person PvEVP extraction shooter, which I know is not everybody's jam, but it is drawing a lot of attention, and the short answer is yes. I do plan on making some videos on it. In fact, I have one that will probably be coming out this Friday. And it's the first time since the Division launch that I've actually had a desire to, like, somewhat cover a game on the channel. To be clear, it's not going to replace Division. This is a Division channel, and that's ultimately my my highest passion when it comes to all this stuff. But I do want to do some videos for Arc Raiders launch. I'm very excited for it. And I'm more excited than I have been for any new IP or new game in a long time. There we go. Scout activity done. So yes, sorry, super long answer to your question, but there are going to be ARC videos coming up. People are asking about the build. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to chat at all. Well, I am, but I'm behind. What's up, Clover? Happy Tuesday to you as well. This is the build for anyone curious. We're using tip and scales with the Bullet King to get some really good stacks there. I always thought you were on PC. Nope, I'm on Xbox. Can Red Storm return for some dedicated PvP development? I'm not sure how much of Red Storm is left. That is being a little bit dramatic. Like, obviously the studio is still there. I don't know what they're working on at this point. I think it's Siege. But a good number of, like, the higher up people that we knew from Red Storm years ago either left or got laid off. Unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know what Red Storm's future is, or if they have a role in the Division, sadly. Do you personally think that the devs will have an answer to fixing PvP? Like switching hit registration? I don't think PvP will ever be perfect or anywhere near perfect in Division 2, but I think there are definite improvements they could make, at least when it comes to features, like you said, with expertise in terms of balancing. I think with something like Survivors greenlit, there is more hope that we could see PvP reform, since they're likely going to be investing in it for that. And we now have more resources on the game than we've had in years. So I don't know, but I'm hopeful for sure. El Benny, what's up? Good to see you. Maddie as well. How are you? As usual, folks, if I miss your question or comment, I apologize. It's not intentional. Feel free to resend, and eventually we'll get there. As I said, today is really just all about chatting. There's not too much happening in the game. So we are going to take things slow and just chill. By the way, appreciate 250 of you being here hanging out, despite there not being much going on. If you've not yet hit the like button and you want to help support, we're 22 likes away from 100 likes. Let me close this real quick. There we go. With some of this apparel, they seem to be experimenting with a no less HUD. Do you mean like with the, what was it called? Not Marauder, but that recent set that showed you like your skills on the stuff, Libertarian? Is that what you're talking about? What I meant by toxic, I meant getting ganked, people bullying. The game is essentially emulating apocalyptic situation. Yeah, I don't know if that was their goal either. I mean, maybe. To be fair, in the original Dark Zone trailer, they did have somebody leave the group and kill their own team, which is quite hilarious that they marketed that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm like, I think there is room for reform in the Dark Zone while still keeping its core ideals. But I would hope they make some changes for Division 3, personally. I'm still so far behind. Notorious, what's up, dude? Very good to see ya. Primate's here as well. What's up, man? What are your thoughts on the Game Pass mess? To be honest with you, I have never been subscribed to Game Pass. I don't really do those things because I play primarily one game, and that's the game you're watching me play right now. So I can't say I have a ton of an opinion. I just think across the industry right now, there's a lot of cost-cutting and price increases trying to happen to counteract other stuff, and it's just kind of a mess all over. But I can't say I have too in-depth of an opinion on it. We need 2 supply chain disruptions. Let's do it. But good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Do we know when the Halloween outfit is dropping? We know that the event itself is likely going to begin on the 21st. We don't know exactly how the rollout of the outfit will go. From what they've said, it sounds like you get pieces of the outfit for defeating the Huntsman's Warhounds. But we don't know if we can necessarily do that all day one, or if they're going to be time gated in some way. We don't really know. But the Halloween event should be starting on the 21st. They're selling Habsburg at one of the vendors. True, I could just go buy a bunch and then deconstruct it all. Matthias, I'm doing quite well, my friend. How are you? I mean, hell, I've got 250 people here hanging out and chatting. It's a good Tuesday. You know? Appreciate the likes, by the way, everybody. We just passed 100. Thank you, thank you. If there were ever a time that you wanted to ask me deep, philosophical, thought-provoking division questions, today's the day while we're chilling. All right, I need one more supply chain. I'm not gonna be able to catch that one. Do Warhound convoys count? Let's try it out. I have no idea if they do, but might as well test. Exotic Alpha, I'm doing amazing indeed. Hope you are too. Chaotic. Hola, right back at you.
Hostile control point detected.
Just came back after a year off, so much has changed. Yeah, in the last year, there has been a good amount of change. Mallory, if you're interested in like a returning player's guide, I did make one towards the end of last year that's still pretty much all the way relevant. I can link it to you if you need. But hope you're enjoying your time back. Best way to get the EB? Best way would be to reach out to one of the raid carry communities that we have in our community. GC Rock here on YouTube is a great guy that has a Discord with a bunch of those going on. There's a few other ones out there. But doing the raid is your most surefire way. Trying to rely on getting it via the Dark Zone or Stretch Goals caches is a bit too slim. I'm just going to hold my trigger here and look at chat while they come out. Is there any trick to finding a leap? Oh, shoot. I hit an explosive pack and that wasn't that wasn't quite my plan. I thought I was so cool standing there like that. Did it count? Gotta wait for this notification to go away. Oh, it did not count. Dang it. Any new ones spawn in? Yes. Have they said what all is happening in the Halloween event, or are they keeping it a secret? They've given us kind of the major beats. You know, as per usual with these events, there's going to be like a project chain that leads up to us getting a new named item, probably a named weapon. But then this time around, they've said to some degree they're going to do world decorations. So the DC map will be changing in some way to look more like Halloween. I doubt that's going to be major, because they've never had the resources to do something like that before, so I wouldn't expect, like, every single thing to look different, but there might be some visual differences. And then there's going to be a new boss, which is the guy that I put in the thumbnail of this stream, called the Huntsman, and apparently he has warhounds that are going to be out in the open world for us to go track down, and they have their own mechanics, and then when we defeat them, we get clues to where he is. We eventually go and take him down, and in that process, we get his outfit. So, pretty involved event for what we're used to, and I'm quite excited for it. Here we go. Noob coming in with the real questions. Do you pour the milk before or after the cereal? After. 1000%. I think that's the only correct way to do it. How am I supposed to spawn camp you if you're spawning in 50 feet away from me? How inconsiderate. What's up, Blanky? I have not gotten it yet. I think it looks really cool, but I don't really use the Scorpio. I have to sell stuff to the campus vendor. What on earth? So yeah, I've not yet pulled the trigger on that. If you want to look at it though, I know DJ Tickle buys pretty much every single thing in the store that comes out to show off in video, so if you go to his channel on YouTube, he should have a video up on it. He's pretty good about that stuff. I think I have clan caches with items. I'll grab those and then go sell them to the campus vendor. What's up, Stuart? I play on Xbox. Notorious, the moment I get more codes, everyone will know. Trust me. Everybody will know. Snipers coming in with the 9 months at classified status as a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know I appreciate it. Good lord. Apparently I've not been claiming my claim caches. And Clinton as well with the $2. Thank you so much. All right, 1 out of 2. Oh, finding time and a group to do a raid is really hard for gamer parents. Do you think they ever move current raid gear to the general loot and replace with new stuff? Certainly possible. People have suggested that over time. That is the one way that I would be okay with it, because I personally like the idea of, really pinnacle content having an exclusive rare reward. But if they wanted to put new items in there to allow those old ones to filter out, I would be okay with that. Do I know or think if they're going to do that? I have no idea. But I'd probably be in support of it. Thank you very much for the $2 though, dude. That's kind of you. Rodrigo, thank you. I saw somebody... Oh, there. Callum asked, how do you think Division 2 will end in transition to 3? It's a good question. I imagine it'll be somewhat similar to Division 1, where they go out with one last big, 1.8 style update, probably somewhere in the ballpark of 9 months to a year in advance of Division 3 coming out. I think now that Julian is kind of overseeing all of that stuff as executive producer, I think he knows that kind of transition is pretty important and that it worked quite well for them between Division 1 and 2. So that would be my guess, is that they work on one big, meaty update to put out and then kind of let things flow into 3. Do you hope for Division 3 to have better post-launch seasonal content system? Maybe like Helldivers 2's War Bonds? I would have to look at exactly how the War Bonds work. I can't say I'm 100% familiar. But I think really the only main problem of Division 2's current content model is lack of resources.
No more radio.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to it right now. Thank you, though, game. Scout done. If we had more resources to where every season brought a more notable activity like retaliations or something like that, and there were PvP improvements and there was more stuff and we got still game modes and whatever other DLC additions on the side, that'd be great. I just really want more resources. What's up, Shadow? Are you looking forward to fighting the Huntsman with the Huntsman? I might have to, I might have to indeed. Do you think Division 3 might be crossplay? I can pretty much guarantee it will be crossplay. I don't know that, let me be clear. But pretty much every new Ubisoft game these days is crossplay. The only reason Division 2 didn't get it is because it was right on the cusp of before that became a industry standard. What are your thoughts on bots filling PvP modes? Most of all, PvP is dead on Div 1, which is a shame not to be able to play it anymore. Simply for that purpose, I'd be okay with it. Just so people have the option to experience Last Stand and stuff like that. But I can't say I would want that in, Division 2, in whatever the current game is. Because I don't think the bot experience would be comparable in any way to an actual other player. I kind of want to go and do a random cleaners retaliation in New York. I don't really have a specific reason. I'm just feeling like it, so let's go do that quick. Are raid mechanics heavy? Is it easier for someone to carry me? They're pretty heavy, but we have some pretty wonderful people and groups in the community that would be more than happy to take you through there. I was saying a moment ago, I highly recommend checking out GC Rock here on YouTube. Great guy with a great community that helps out with stuff like that. I think this will give us what we need. Finally, someone is asking the hard-hitting questions. We had Noob before, and now Jacob says, what is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is the Division. Simply put. Life before March 8th of 2016 wasn't real. And then came the Division 1. I'm kidding. I'll have to dedicate a stream in the future to talking about that one, Jacob. That's a big topic. Gilgamesh said, I don't have high hopes for Div 3 anymore. What changed, if you don't mind me asking? By saying not anymore, I assume you mean at one point you had high hopes for Division 3, but why is that changed for you? Any tips on Parnell Master difficulty? Not been able to beat it, no luck matchmaking on Xbox. I do. I'll finish this bounty and then I'm happy to go over there and show you real quick before we do our retaliation. I mean, doing a solo master is tough, no way around it, but there are some ways you can maybe make it a little bit easier on yourself. I don't know where the stairs are. Mick, you're very welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. Whoa.
Agent, target spotted.
Heartland fell through, and on top of that, cheaters don't get banned, and bugs played the game. That's why Div 3 won't be any different. I see where you're coming from with those points. I can't say I fully agree. Heartland is a case of its own. I mean, I don't know how much that really says about Division 3, given it was Red Storm working on it, and the current people making Division 3 are not. Red Storm's not working on that, nor is the leadership structure the same. Cheaters and bugs are absolutely annoying. I would say part of the reason why they've gotten so bad is because the game has had a lack of resources and the original team is no longer working on it. Whereas that's kind of the whole benefit of doing a new game, is that you get a fresh start from a technical slate and all of that. That's not to say that 3 or 4 years after Division 3 comes out, the same issues couldn't pop up, but typically when a game launches, that is your best shot at fixing a lot of those things in one go. So, I can't say I agree, but I totally get your frustration. All right, let's go. I'll go to the master mission real quick, and then we'll do that retaliation. What's up, Gadar? Do you think we see any teasers for Div 3 next year, or still too early? Next year is at least when I think it becomes plausible. I had a lot of people telling me back at the start of this year that we were going to get a trailer or something else for Div 3, and I said, no way. And so far, that's held up. We still got, 2.5 months to go. We'll see. But I don't think we're hearing a peep on Div 3 this year. The only reason I think it could be plausible next year is that we have the 10th anniversary celebration in March. I don't think we'll get anything huge on Division 3, because I still think it will still be relatively early. I mean, at least by 26, it will have been in, full development, assumedly, for, a year. That's a good amount of time. I think we could get a little teaser or something in March at the anniversary. Other than that, I wouldn't expect much. Sorry, I just choked on my water. That was quite awkward. So many questions. As I said before, folks, if I miss your question, it's not intentional. Feel free to resend after a few minutes. Do you like your pizza with or without the bone? You know? Typically with. I feel if you're gonna do it, go all out. Don't skimp out on that. What's up, Dames? Hope I'm saying that right. Just started playing Division 2 because of the autumn sale. Any tips for a PvE build? Well, welcome. Hope you're having fun. Tips for a PvE build. Striker is always a pretty solid first one to go for. It's pretty much the strongest PvE set in the game. Something like this is typically what I'll run if I'm going for like a solo striker setup. But in general, hopping into Countdown up here, setting your targeted loot to striker, you'll have at least a decent build after like one run.
Incoming backup request.
So that's typically my go-to. Yeah, but the devs have shown they don't care about this game. I don't think they will care about the next one. As someone who has met many of the devs and went to the studio where they work on this game and are working on Division 3, I can't say I agree with that either. I think there is a lot of factors that go into game development that players don't get to see. Stakeholder influence, budgets, technical constraints. You know, I think if none of those things existed and they could just snap their fingers and do all the stuff that we want, they would do it. There's no reason not to. But unfortunately, that's not the reality of stuff. He only misses my nonsensical comments intentionally. Postman, I'm sorry. Div 3 City reveal at the Game Awards in December, or at Anniversary in March. The city reveal. I mean, watch it not be in a city. They're like, yeah, this is set in Bramble, Montana. I don't know if that's a real place, by the way. I made that up. But that would be quite funny. Game Awards or Anniversary. See, I don't know. I don't know if they would go with the city reveal. I'm thinking like a logo and a tagline or something very minimal. Maybe I'm being too reserved there, but I don't know. Welcome to Rogue Studios. I wish I could properly say your name, but unfortunately I do not know how to read those characters. I'm so sorry, but thank you for the membership. That's very kind of you. As well as Clover, just as I was saying that, sending out 5 more. Clover, thank you so much. Going to Sandwich, Brad, Silence, Ryan, and Noob Gamer. Pro Noob, sorry, I should say. If you I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'm having a hard time right now. If any 5 of you are here, please send Clover a thank you in the chat. Very kind of you. And once again, to our new member who joined up, thank you so much. I'm sorry I can't properly pronounce your name. Why did I come over here? I was going to show somebody tips for the master mission. I'm so sorry if you're still here watching. What I used to solo master this mission was this build with a 4th piece of ongoing on here. Let's just go grab it. Well, might as well. I won't do the full mission, but I'll show you what I'm talking about at least. Okay, Peter is still here. Good. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I need to grab the pieces that I intended to show you what I'm talking about. Daniel Scott as well, joining Rogue Studios, as well as Ghost, Mylosh. Thank you both so much. Ghost, Daniel, other new member, and Clover. Thank you guys all so much for the generosity. People say that the devs care, only play PvE, they don't care about the entirety of the game. I play PvP more than anything else. Where is my... And I should clarify, Gilgamesh, I'm not saying that you're incorrect for feeling frustrated by the state of the game, specifically when it comes to PvP. There are many things to be frustrated by, but I think two things can be true at once, you know? All right. Peter, this is what I recommend personally, or at least what I ran when I did mine. Survival specialization for two reasons. One, you get the protection from elites, which is very handy in Master, because there are a lot of elites. But then also, when it comes to the final boss, you can actually stand in the room before going into the boss room and shoot the boss from there with the crossbow, and it will shred it will take their armor off and allow you to kill them without doing some of the mechanics. I don't think they patched that, so that should be a strategy, and that helps you a lot on that final fight when you're solo. Decoy and a revive hive is pretty good. I then put protection from elites mods on all of these pieces, and you end up with, I think, 48 or something. 46% protection from elites. The blue screen is really good for enemy CC. I'll just go over there and show you. Tomoko, 100% understood, and thank you so much for the donation. I want to comment a lot, but still studying English. Thank you as always for your fun streams and videos. I think I know all the comments you've been leaving, and I think they're perfectly good. I appreciate the effort you're making, and thank you again for the generosity of becoming a member and donating. I will remember from here on out so that I'm not incorrect like I was there. All right. So, once you go in, if you have access to the modifiers, which if you don't, they should be fixing that in 0.2. If it says you're locked out and you can't use them, that fix is coming soon. But All Out is really good. I'm trying to remember what they are. Oh, By the Teeth is like the really important one. Draw back. Which one is it? Bait and switch. The important one is By the Teeth. I think drawback I used, and maybe persistence. The third one I guess doesn't matter as much. We'll just do that. But the deal is that at long range, you get a ton of extra damage with these modifiers. And then if you get a kill while All Out is active, it makes your entire range meter long range. So you can essentially beam everybody. The blue screen is really good because it will share a CC effect onto... oh, this is only heroic. What? I thought I selected master. Hang on. Hang on. I messed up. Do we still have these on? Nope.
Just a heads up.
All
I
out.
didn't have much time to set up that turret. There might be some
By the
technical
teeth.
issues. Sorry about that.
Drawback. Liability. Okay, let's try this again. Get that turret. Get this turret. And then we can start beaming them. Let's see if we can get past this first room with this build. Make sure I actually remember what I'm talking about. But yeah, this worked very well for me when I ran it back then. Where's this last turret gonna be at? Or last generator, rather. Why does it still say that I have sanitation on? We found a bug. Will it actually pop both if I do it? No, I just want to see. Oh, okay, it's just visual. It doesn't actually give it to me. So yeah, we popped all out. Now my entire range bar is blue because I killed that ad right in front of me. So ideally you want it to be red in long range because then you proc by the teeth and you do a crazy amount of damage. Whoa, I did not remember that they could climb out of the manhole. So anyway, as long as you go slow and steady, you'll be good. Again, I recommend a build somewhat similar to what I've got, blue screen with protection from elites. There's some amount of it works quite well, and then keep survivalists for that final boss room. Yeah, and Memento is good too to regen some armor while you're sitting in cover. Uh-oh, we found the one purple in the whole mission. That's why we run a revive hive. If they don't kill me, shoot. So, it might take a few tries. I think it did for me when I first did it.
Classes, agent approaching the
Alright, sorry, I missed another, like, 12 billion
I didn't have much time to set up that turret.
comments.
There might be some technical issues. Sorry about that.
Now I've put myself in a position where I feel like I have to at least complete the first room. I can't tout how well this build works if I can't do it myself. I probably should have backed up once I got that last generator. That was my problem. There, we got all of them. Now we can just sit back here. Could also get one of the bajillion memento stacks waiting for me out here. Don't forget your retaliation. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully that helps. And as I said, if it doesn't give you access to these modifiers, if you didn't play that season, you could run the mission without them. That's totally up to you. They do help, at least in terms of the damage, but you can get through it just by you know, taking a long time. Totally up to you. We're going to finish this room just so I can prove to myself that I can still do it. And then we're moving on. Can't see his head box through that. Yeah, blue screen is nice because that stagger that just went off is totally from that talent alone. I see things popping off in chat. Hang on. Oh! No! Good lord. I need to pop all out on someone at range. There we go. So we got all red now, and then you'll see how much damage I'm doing to these people, even when they're right in my face. That's when it gets crazy. You pop all out and have by the teeth. This room just always has so many reinforcements. Who is even still left right now? Oh! Oh, the reload. Dude, there's actually just endless spawns. I promise I'm gonna get to all the gifts in the chat. Thank you guys. 2 seconds. If these hyenas will ever stop spawning in. Oh my goodness. Don't you all know that we're streaming here? Master NPCs? Please, just let me push you back. Alright, I think this is the last one. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Without any further delay, let me scroll up here. First, the Goo Guys. Sorry, you're probably already gone. Said, hopping off, as always, appreciate the stream, Rogue. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the $2. That's very kind of you. Postman, coming in with 5 gifted. Going to Industry Designs. Peter, what's up, man? R Squared. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. And Abdullah. Welcome to Rogue Studios. If you're here, please give Postman a thank you. Similarly, Ure coming in with 10. Going to Charles. The Deeg, Thalen, Alex, John, Mark, It's Me, Baby, Gunmar, Toretto, and Akio. Okay, finally caught up. Ure, Postman, Goo Guy, thank you all very, very, very much for the generosity. Livid's in the chat, what's up? Peter said my work schedule switched, and I'm getting off work right now at 1 p.m. Nice. Well, nice, I think. I'm sure you started quite early then, if that's the case. But I'm glad you made it, dude. Good to see you. Treasy said, how do I pay to keep my gifted sub? At the top, or near-ish the top of the description, as well as in all my videos. The description on this stream, as well as most of my videos, there should be a link that says join up as a member. I don't 100% know how YouTube does it when you try to gift and then retain that status, but it should let you sign up there. And it might just say this will come into effect once the gifted period ends. So, if you want to, Treasy, feel free to look into it there. But all good either way. Thank you for watching the stuff. Once again, Ure, Postman, Goo Guy, thank you all. I think, as I said last stream, the membership culture, that's the word I was looking for last time. The culture that we have around memberships in this community is really astounding, and I appreciate the support more than I can say. How you doing, Livid? What's going on with you? Why is there so much news in gaming? What's going on? It's that time of year, you know? The last 3 months are always pretty busy. But yeah, anyway, other Peter, hope the tips for Master helped. By the way, folks, we've had 300 people hanging out here for a little bit. Thank you very much. And yeah, as I said, I wasn't expecting much from today's stream because not too much is going on, but this is turning out to be a pretty fun chilling and discussion kind of stream. As you've got hands-on with Division Resurgence, do you think it's worth... I assume you mean trying to get it to releasing? Yeah, I mean, quality-wise, I think from the beginning it's been a pretty great, authentic representation of the Division. As for whether or not it will find an audience and succeed, I don't know. You know? Because I think you need more people than just Division fans to make that work out. Let's switch back to this. So yeah, I can't speak to that, but at least in terms of the quality and authenticity of the game itself, I totally think it's good. Just want to put these back in the stash. All right. Retaliation. Again, I don't really have a reason for doing this other than I wanted to. So let's do it. Doing good. Missed a bunch of streams, so happy to catch one today. Well, thanks for being here. But yeah, I guess this is a good time to say I'm going to talk about it in my video tomorrow. But we were chatting about it a little bit ago. That throughout the rest of the month, you're going to see some videos from me on the channel on Arc Raiders. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, because it has PvP at its core. That's totally fine. But if you want to help me out, feel free to, even if you don't watch the video, just clicking on it, giving it a like, all that. I promise you it's not replacing Division. Division's always going to be the core content here. And I will, as I've always promised, be the first to let you know about any news and Division stuff. But I'm excited for that game's launch. We're going to do a few videos on it. I have been feeling a little bit burnt out on the stuff I like to do in Division with PvP and like more challenging, dynamic PvE content. So I think it's good timing that Arc is coming out. But it's a long way of saying if you want to help make those videos do good, feel free to click on them. Because switching to a different game when you're an established channel for a different game can be tough. And again, I'll be clear, I'm not switching, but we're just going to do a few of them for fun. Oh, terrible positioning I found myself in. Absolutely terrible. Dang it. I was like, maybe I could escape back this way. There we go. They still have some really good sightlines up there. I need a different approach. How about you stay suppressed, and then I'll just beam all your friends. This guy just has no care in the world. He'll just keep shooting me. Oh, this guy's on the side. Just the one. What am I missing in the chat? Started Div 2 this week. Well, thank you for being here, Lance. I appreciate it. Looking forward to Arc Raiders. Can't wait for Arc Raiders. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are, which is pretty cool. Jeremy said, same here, been playing Helldivers 2 to take a break. And that's the thing. I've preached that for years, so it would be very hypocritical of me to say that I'm feeling a little burned out and not take a break. You know, even the most replayable game out there in the world is not meant to be played indefinitely for 8 hours a day, you know? As much as I love Division, everyone needs a little bit of a break at some point. And that's the thing, I'm still like not actually going to take a break because I will still be playing for the Halloween event and whatever else there is to make videos on. I just need to push these guys. But yeah, in terms of what I'm playing like in my free time, I'm very excited for art coming out. I've spent through all my kits. This is not a great run so far. I also don't think tipping scales the way I have it set up is a really good solo retaliation build. I think tipping scales works best as like a group damage build when not all the aggro is on you. Okay, good lord. Are there any armor kit things in this building? I hate that control point song. Well, the other one is the OG Division song. I like that one, but yeah, this one, not as much. Let's just call this, why not?
Reinforcements en route. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Might get Ghost of Yote video soon. Well, I don't own a PlayStation, so I'm afraid not. That's also not quite my style of game. As much as I've tried to branch out over the years, I have a hard time playing stuff that's not multiplayer, and specifically stuff that doesn't have PvP. Something like Helldivers is probably the closest I would get, and I know Postman's been trying to get me on that for a while. But ever since I discovered the genre, I've very much stuck to MMO type of games that have the PvP component. That's why I love WoW, that's why I love Destiny, The Division. So. Tipping scales works great here, where I can just sit with cover and mow people down. Where'd those other guys go? Right below me.
Hostile detected.
Why don't I have... It's like my modifiers got unselected. I have the global one on, but I'm not getting Zealot or any of those. Here we go. Are these on? Yeah, I just unequipped everything. Let's put Zealot back on. Would you play Naraka Blade Point? I actually looked into that game at one point. I've never played it, but it did look interesting. I heard there was a lot of issues with like that company stealing information though, so I ended up not going for it. You played Destiny, one of my favorite games. I have not played, and Max asked have I made videos on Destiny 2. I played Destiny 1. I was there on launch day for D1 and played that up until Destiny 2 came out. I have not played Destiny regularly ever since the launch months of Destiny 2. At that point, Division had pretty much taken over all of my life in that sense. I've popped back on Destiny 2 every now and then. Like, I even played through maybe the first half of the Final Shape campaign. That's not what I wanted to do. But I guess it was a good idea, because they're going to mess me up there. But yeah, between Division and Destiny, Division is my kind of game more than Destiny is, if that makes sense. Destiny 2 is in bad shape, that's why I'm here. Well, I appreciate you being here, Sky Realms. Yeah, I've definitely been watching a lot of the commentary on that recently. I got a kill squad. It's very interesting to see. And funny enough, like, despite their inherent comparisons, Division and Destiny have always had like an odd number of similarities. I'm talking like the stuff you wouldn't even think of, like there were exactly 3 years in between the release of Division 1 and Division 2. Same with Destiny. Of course, they're both looter shooters that start with D1, D2. That's just more of a funny coincidence. But I mean everything, right? They both have a mobile game that has similar names. Anyway, if you look at the trajectory of both games over the years, they've been oddly similar, with, of course, differences here and there. But right now, I think they're deviating in very interesting ways, where Division is getting a third game, whereas Destiny, that community very much wants one, is not getting one. And so in a few years' time, I'll be very curious to see how that has played out for both games. You know, there's no guarantee that Division 3 is going to do well or be popular. We certainly hope it will, but we don't know. And at the same time, even though things don't look great for Destiny 2 right now, maybe they turn it around and it soars back to being the most popular looter on the market. We just have no idea. But given that pretty big split that they're making right now, compared to whereas before they were on pretty similar trajectories, I'm curious to see how that plays out in the long run. There's no third-person looter shooter except Division. There's Warframe and the First Descendant. Those are both third-person looter shooters. Warframe, of course, is very popular. I have my own personal love for Warframe. I've played it over the years, but both that and First Descendant I can never invest into as much as I do with something like Division because there's no PvP. For me, that's always the hook that keeps me playing thousands of hours when all the other content dries up. So the lack of that in those games is what would ultimately hold me back from being in that conversation. Plus, as I've gone into this before, I know in a few videos and streams, I'm somebody that very much appreciates like the art of video games, if that makes sense. And while I respect First Descendant as a game, and anyone who, you know, loves that game and that's their favorite game, I've got nothing against that or nothing against you. But First Descendant very much feels like a kind of a soulless game to me. The UI feels tacked on. The story and narrative isn't really there. Again, this is like very outside opinion-y stuff. But games like Destiny or Division have very clear thematics and hooks from day one, and they feel very cohesive as games and ideas. That's also why I'm really excited for Arc Raiders, because it's a genre that I like, and that world that they've created and the narrative and everything else is very compelling. So that is something that I definitely look for in games that I'm going to invest a lot of my time and energy into. Oh, we got an exotic. I gotta make sure I grab that before this ends. Alright, sorry, I'm falling behind on chat, but we'll catch up as soon as this is done. Very curious to see what y'all are saying.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
With the burnout being mad real, have you ever thought about streaming Division 1 for the OGs of the franchise? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, yes, I have thought about doing like a playthrough or something. I know a lot of people like that kind of stuff. At the very least, I do plan to do another. Last year on New Year's Eve, we did a survival stream where we actually like pretty decently populated survival on all the major platforms. And I definitely want to do something like that again this year. So that's in the books. Beyond that, I don't know. But I will take your feedback to heart. This control point has always just had terrible spawns. They're so far away. What exotic do we get here? All right, there we go. Okay, scrolling up. Let me look at everything I missed. What game are you excited about or looking forward to? Arc Raiders, 100%. Destiny needs a hard reset. Both games connect to them personally. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that making like a console-based looter shooter last for over a decade is really hard. I think 3 years is a bit too quick, as we saw with Division 1 and Destiny 1, but I think like 6-ish years is a pretty good time. Where like every 6-7 years you get a new entry. I think that would connect a lot more with people. Can you show your build? Absolutely. I'll have it hover on this while we talk. If Warframe wasn't pay to win, I would actually enjoy that game. Careful how loudly you say that. I referenced that once in a video. I was like, Warframe has pay to win elements, and the comments flamed me. Warframe players do not like that association, which I understand that the game isn't like predatory style of pay to win, but I don't think you're wrong for saying that you can buy stuff in the shop. Like, that's not a judgment, that's just a fact, right? Anyway, that's a whole tangent in and of itself. Postman said First Descent is 100% solely developed by AI. And look, if you enjoy the game, more power to you. But I tried it for like 20 minutes when it came out, or I think it was the beta or something, and I was like, this just feels very soulless. Like, I could not play this long term, especially since it doesn't have PvP. Warframe does have PvP, I thought. The Conclave says PvP. I guess it does, but it's not like supported to my knowledge. Like, it's not balanced at all. Like, Destiny and Division have very clear, structured PvP, right? Destiny, you of course have Crucible and Trials, which hooked me for a long time. Division has always had the Dark Zone, which I adore, and all that. But I don't think Warframe really pays much mind to their PvP, if it's even still there. Sounds good, Daniel. The Gaming Brigade, Mr. Sergeant Graybeard in the house. What's up, dude? How you doing? How's it going? Why don't they do the Diablo model of seasons that reset gear? Oh, Lance, do I have a story for you, my friend? Long story short, they tried to implement that last year, and the Division 2 community revolted. And it was almost probably the end of the game. So they walked that back, because people were not having it. Funny enough, if you want to look at another similarity for Division 2 and Destiny 2, Destiny tried to do the same thing this year with their new expansion. Their plan was to reset, or at least maybe not to the full degree of that game or what Division was doing, but they were going to like reset people's power every season, and they just ditched that idea, I think, yesterday, because people were not having it. I think it's really hard to transition from a model where that's not been the case to doing that. If you start a game that way, then at least people know what they're getting into going into it. But if you try and then say, every season we're now going to reset you after you've had all this stuff for all these years, that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. Maybe, noob. Honestly, I don't really... I've not even begun thinking about what my plans for launch are, but if I need some people, I'll totally hit up the members chat on the Discord. The server slam next week is going to be fun. Graybeard said, all good. Just at work, thought I'd jump in and say hello. Appreciate you, my guy. Anybody here who hasn't checked out Sergeant Graybeard, the Gaming Brigade, on YouTube absolutely should. awesome member of the Division community. By the way, folks, we still got 300 people hanging out, and we're one singular like away from 200 likes. It could be you. You could be number 200. But no, thank you again for hanging out. As I said, I wasn't really expecting much from today's stream, but this has been very fun. All right. Let us... I think we're going to do some Dark Zone. It's targeted LMGs in Invaded, so let's just roll around in there for a bit, see what happens. 200 done. 3 different people have said it was them. It was Greybeard, it was Max, and it was 9ball. Oh, and Abdullah. It was everybody. You all are 200. No, thank you guys so much for that.
Safe area entered.
The debate on seasonal characters has begun. I still, to this day, I will not be shamed into saying that I think the one aspect of that would have been incredibly fun was the idea of a seasonal Dark Zone. Like, can you imagine every season people are going in with nothing? Now, the Dark Zone might have to actually be made more rewarding because it's not really that great for farming, but the idea of people not being able to go in with all their expertise and all their gear and everything would have been kind of tight. That's why I think, like, when it comes to Division 3, they should really think about doing some amount of reform to the Dark Zone structure. Which I know can be a controversial thing to say. I really need a good Eagle Bear build for PvE. Do you have one? My favorite one to run historically, Treasy, has been Striker, like this, except obviously Eagle Bear is the primary here. Swap this for, well, you could keep it Cheska, but a chest piece with Obliterate, and then instead of Exodus, run the Memento backpack, and then have Striker here. That historically has been my favorite PvE Striker build. We need to warm up with the EB. It's kicking all over. To be fair, the DZ has always been controversial. Yeah. Specifically when I say that, I mean that, you know, there's always the arguments of make a PvE Dark Zone and remove PvP from the Dark Zone. I don't agree with those ideas personally, but among the PvP crowd, I have said to people before, I think there should be some DZ reform and change heading into 3, while still retaining, you know, rogues and manhunts and all that stuff. But I've gotten big pushback on that. A lot of people want it to stay exactly the same. Which, you know, more of the, you know, not fixing what isn't broken isn't always the worst strategy, but I do think some parts of the DZ are kind of broken. This is what it comes down to. My biggest thing is, I think, making the Dark Zone more of a, honestly, kind of what Resurgence is doing, I don't think would be a bad idea. Having a timer on it, having it be something you queue into, and then just expanding the concept of what we have now greatly. Because part of the issue is when you have it being always persistent, that's when you get stuff like the checkpoint camping and all of that. But if you made the Dark Zone, say you have 30 minutes or 45 minutes to be in this zone, and it's way larger, like Division 1 size, say you got, I don't know, 40 players in there, and there's more dynamic events, maybe certain areas surge with contamination, you have to move out. Maybe landmarks are more in depth. Maybe there's more supply drops, convoys. I just think there would be a lot of opportunity that you could do by making the DZ instanced rather than persistent. while still keeping the rogue status. If you want to go in there and go rogue and try and get your stuff that way, go for it. But again, you have to still then conform to the timer and to whatever other environmental dangers there may be in the moment. That's my water cooler pitch for what I think would be cool to see with the Dark Zone in the future. And then you could also, you know, have greater... a lot of people say there's no real risk to dying in the DZ. Well, if it was like that, what if when you died, you then spawned somewhere way far away and you had to run back? Like, I know that's sort of what we have now, but they could also add greater penalties to it if you have to wait a minute to respawn. You know, out of a 30-minute total, that could be kind of a... what's the word I'm looking for? Deterrent. The problem is they've never been able to balance or support PvP. As much as I'm PvP side, I'd rather they don't bring it to the third installment than bring it and not support it. If they don't bring PvP to Division 3, that might be the day that you all see me leave. I'll be honest. It would be very tough for me to invest in Division 3 without PvP. I would actually kind of disagree with that, Livid. I totally agree that right now there is a complete lack of support, but we know why, right? Because Ubisoft, unfortunately, pulled out a long time ago and made the decisions that they made. But like Division 1, throughout Division 1's life cycle, there was PvP support. Like Red Storm would make balancing changes. We had conflict added. We had survival added. So I would kind of push back on that and say that Division 1 was a pretty good moment of, at least a model of how PvP could be treated. I need 2 items for my prio objective. You can have the rest.
Hostile stinger hive detected.
Are you coming back? Don't think I didn't see you. I don't need a name card to let me know where you are. Oh, we got more. Basically making it more extraction shootery and a bit of Division 1. Pretty much, yeah. Different development studio, though. Well, I mean, we have to imagine that Division 3 is going to have its own support studios. As much as I loved Red Storm back in the day, I really don't think they are the same studio that they were back then. A lot of the senior people have either left or were laid off. A lot of that stuff. And I know some people kind of think this way, but I don't think Red Storm is the only studio in the world that could support Division PvP, you know? There are other other studios out there. So, we'll see. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen, but I very much hope that that PvP is involved in Division 3 and that they can find someone or some team to better support it. Sledge didn't hit any of them there? Come on. I'm also getting kind of low on ammo. That still hit me. Shoot, that's so much fire coming in at once. Oh, wow, I should be dead. I should really be dead. He was one shot. I can't see anything. Wow, that's a long blind. What did he hit me with? I just need to get one down. If I got one down, I would have a control in this situation. I could not get one of them.
Agent down. Agent killed.
I've been rewatching all of your old Division 2 videos and thoroughly enjoyed them. As a returning player, your video helped me with both PvE and PvP builds. Very glad to hear it. Cameron, thank you. I hope you don't mean like old ones, because
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
if you go back too far, I start to think that they are,
Now entering an invaded dog zone.
the quality might dip a little bit.
Safe area detected.
But in the last like year or two, yeah, you're good. What are you sitting there shooting at the sky for? That's an iron lung. One that hurts too, my goodness. Holy.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Okay, I finally got my one guy down. I don't really know why I'm fighting these people. I guess I'm bored.
Hostile stinger hive detected.
No! Oh, shoot. How did you get right next to me? I'm gonna try and get that guy dead who I downed back there.
Contaminated gear detected.
Got tenacity. He tried to pull up on me with the LMG combo, which is very strong. I might die from that, honestly. Yep. Dang. I soaked in so much damage from that one dude. Yeah, this is his build. People have been doing these LMG combos where you proc Frenzy with a GR9 and then you just have an insane amount of ammo and damage. That's crazy that I even survived that through, or that I soaked the damage with tenacity, but I thought I might die.
Detected. Nearby location. By hostiles. Rogue status removed.
Alright, sorry, what have I missed in chat here?
Entered.
Here we go, thank you, noob. Would you rather have unlimited bacon with no games, or unlimited games with no games? I assume you mean unlimited games with no bacon, which would be a very... These guys want me to come back out. Which would be a very
Entering invaded dog zone.
tough thing to deal with. That would be very tough. What's going on, folks?
Extraction helo. Almost within range.
We can all be friends if you guys want. We can go farm. Oh! Maybe not. Maybe not. Got one.
Rogue agent neutralized.
These guys are not too happy when I went rogue on them.
Detected.
What's up, Kaz? We're just hanging out,
Now entering an invaded dog
chilling,
zone.
chatting, playing. Nothing too crazy. Oh. Good lord, that LMG is crazy.
Seeker mine detected.
I couldn't see him. I'm like, can I kill him through the blind? I'm surrounded.
Serious trauma detected. Agent out of action.
We're doing stinger hives at the door? Come on, fellas. I didn't do that to you. Yeah, I see you there. He's just shooting that that fire hose anywhere he can. I need to keep backing up. Pull him away from here. You were low. I feel like someone's gonna flank me. Oh, there's one over there.
Hostile defender drone.
Oh my goodness, that's the LMG. Alright, just let me get back in the extraction area and then I'll have some corners to use. Oh, can I get you over here? One down. To the cover to cover! It took too long. I thought it was going to start the animation. Let's go this side. I don't really, by the way, chat, I don't really know what I'm doing. We're just kind of messing around, having fun. If anyone has more more topics they want to discuss, let me know. We'll probably be live for another half hour or so. This is good practice, though. None of them are, aside from the LMG guy, none of them are using, like, any meta cheese builds. This is good. Good solo practice. Kozik, what's up, man? Good to see you. Does Rogue need backup? I'm actually kind of having fun solo, I'm not going to lie. If you find your way in here, that's fine. But, this is a good challenge for me to try and do a 1v4. Oh, that Coach Chill RG is in the DZ with all the craziness. I probably would have quit by now. Just have different definitions of fun. As Chris said. Any news on more arm patches? Not yet that I've heard. But I know they are working on it. Oh, fellas. Oh, they found someone else. Alright, here we go. Won't be just me. Does he know I'm right here? Oh, fellas. I can't believe I got him there. Honestly, don't know how you got the time. This event been struggling with some of the speedruns. I did not choose the times myself. I chose the missions, but the times were preset by the devs. Well, one spawning right behind me is probably not going to lead to a good outcome.
Safe area detected.
Taking out whole squads being called a cheat. They were good times. Remember the basics of CQC? I don't know anything. I see people, I shoot gun. That is my basics. Oh, they did see me. Doesn't say I'm continually getting pulsed, so I don't know what they're using to see me. BF6 and Arc Raiders, let's go. I know, dude. Battlefield's this Friday, right? I'm definitely going to be playing that. And then Arc at the end of the month. You guys can't just let me get away. You gotta come fight. I would kill for a PvE Dark Zone that I don't have to deal with this stuff. Is that not just the open world? That's always been my question about that kind of a request, is like, the Dark Zone really doesn't have interesting PvE mechanics. It's essentially just the open world with other players. But I hear you. Weren't there? Why are all four of you coming after me? Weren't there other people? We could have split some of you off. They're flanking me. One's going around. I'm gonna go meet this guy. Oh, there's two. Good lord, I wasn't ready for that. Give me tenacity. We got it. I was like, can I get another one before it expires? The answer is no.
Agent killed. Hostiles guarding location.
Landmarks and more places to explore.
Invaded dark zone. Safe area entered.
No. I mean, to be fair, this is coming from the opinion of a PvPer. So, take it as you will. But I think when 95% of the rest of the game is all there for people who only like PvE, it's okay that there's 5% that's more inclined towards PvP. But that is just me. Alright, we will go do something else. I know this is probably not that exciting to watch. I kind of just want to see if I can wipe these guys once. Which side did that dude spawn on? Oh, he spawned up here. What does this guy do? Well, in a one-on-one, I don't think any of y'all are lasting that long.
Rogue agent neutralized.
Kaz showed up and wiped him immediately. He's trying to make me look bad. What did I needed to do something. Oh yeah, extract. Alright, we'll do one landmark and extract, and then maybe I'll hit a conflict game or two. That'll be good. Oh, sorry, Philippin Phil. That's a good name. Let me look your one up here. I know you're against a PvE DZ, but what about a solo or clan-only DZ? Like a server toggle option, not a new location. By clan-only DZ, what do you mean? I mean, would that essentially just be a PvE DZ because it's only people in there you know? That one I'm not sure about. A solo one, I'm totally for. I've got nothing against that. If they had a way to make it so that when you go into the dark zone, and this is also kind of why I think in Division 3 a queuable DZ would be better, because then they could say you're queuing into a solo only dark zone. I would totally be for that. The clan idea though, I'm curious about if you want to elaborate more. Why decoy in PvP? I'm new. The decoy is really nice because it's... Was I just talking about this? In my brain, the words I'm saying, I just said like 2 minutes ago. But hopefully I'm not going crazy. The decoy hides your nameplate. And yeah. It's honestly, they probably should have nerfed it like 5 years ago, but here we are. Survivors could be queue only. Well, I'm sure it will be. I mean, that's how survival was in the original game. No, I imagine that survivors will be session based.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Basically just run around with your friends for fun. Well, if we're taking away DZ exclusives in that case. That idea I'm less inclined to, I'll be honest with you, just because they would then have to balance... I mean, because then essentially you are allowing a PvE DZ, right? You can ensure that everyone else that you're in there with, you know. And so if they don't want a PvP, they don't have to. And in that case, they then have to balance the loot around that. Because that could very quickly just become why play anywhere else when 50 of you can go, or whatever the server cap is, can go into a dark zone and farm. On the topic of DZ exclusives, though, I would have no issue with them removing PvP exclusives in Div 3. I don't think they're needed, frankly. What I think the dark zone should offer, for the risk of taking on PvP, is better efficiency. A slightly better rate at getting materials, at getting loot quantity of drops, like whatever. But I don't think you need to, because as has been very rightly pointed out over time, exclusives just make people feel like they have to play the content to get all the stuff. And if people don't want to play PvP, they shouldn't be forced to. But there should be some sort of reward for taking on that extra risk, which I think would be better done in terms of just making it higher efficiency. But yeah, clan only DZ I'm not so sure about. Solos only DZ I would love. I think they should do that.
Helo inbound.
Extraction called.
Javon or Javin wants to see the build. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. It's a variant on my kind of classic Eagle Bear Slayer build that I've used for a long time. I'm testing it out with Efficient. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was a player or not. So yeah, I just have Efficient, Vigilance, 2 Walker, Contractors, Foxes, Catharsis. And Postman says ban all FOMO from Div 3. Is this might be maybe my most hated take of all time. I don't hate FOMO that much. At least to the right quantities. If your entire game is FOMO based, then sure, that probably wouldn't be that fun. But at least when it comes to stuff like events like, again, I know I've said many times, but I have a background in WoW, or at least
Contaminated gear.
when I was younger, that's where I kind of really got into the whole MMO idea. And I was a big fan of, like, if you played in this event in this year, you got a reward that you get to show off for the next decade that the game is here. You know? That kind of stuff I kind of like. I won't lie. And I know it's probably unpopular. So I don't know.
System reactivated.
With that one whisper, Rogue just lost like 200 subs. I'm not advocate, like, you know, I'm not out there advocating that they should make things more, I don't know, exclusive or whatever. But honestly, like, to the degree that the game has it now, I think it's fine. But I know people will be like, no. Okay, we're gonna get those done. People are still going rogue. Back down here. We'll run back that way. I'll go till I die, and then let's play a game or two of Conflict. I think the daily... Yeah, I need to do 2 games anyway. Thanks for the name compliment, by the way. A lot of folks overlooked that it is flipping with a PH. I thought it was good. Do you think doing raids with randoms could work? Not the raids in Division 2. No. It's pretty hard to do those with a fully random group with no comms. I think exclusive should be apparel only.
Hostile stinger hive detected.
Yeah. Again, I'll probably get hated for my opinion on that. Largely, I agree. But I do like the idea that certain tough pieces of content have rewards behind them. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can sneak behind these guys. Oh, they already pulsed me. They're good with that. I'll give them that. They've got very good situational awareness. One down. Oh, shoot. I've got tenacity. You might not want to push me. No! I didn't get to finish him off.
Safe area detected. Now entering an invaded dog zone.
Have you already played through this week's Descent? They stopped adding comms to Descent, so I'm not playing it. Or I haven't been, I should say. That was the primary reason that I used to run it every week. Dang, we got reinforced smart cover? Getting crazy out here. Did I destroy the smart cover with that? That was pretty good. They've got a mortar turret behind them. Oh, they're trying to run out the back. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. He's down. I don't even know where the others went. They decoyed and went somewhere. Yeah, this is a lot of people. I was like, maybe I could flag, but I'd probably die immediately. Sounds good, Livid. Enjoy. Thank you for jumping in. And totally, we will, I'm sure, be chatting soon. No worry, Limitless. Yeah, that's what Mallory said. It stands for fear of missing out. Basically, essentially what they do with, you know,
Rogue agent
the event passes that we have, like right now with Rainbow Six and all that. Just stuff that is only here for a limited amount of time, so that if you don't get on and play, you're afraid that you will miss it. You know, that's the general idea. Sean said, my problem with the DZ is that when you're by yourself farming DZ gear, then get ransacked by a team going rogue. 4v1. And that's fair. Yeah, I would totally not be opposed to them doing a solo-only DZ. It probably wouldn't work at this point in Division 2 because there's not enough of a population to have anyone be there. But, yeah, in like Division 3, I would totally be for that. Oh, come right this way, guys. Oh, I thought they were. Maybe they are? Where are they going?
Helo is on site.
Oh, jump up there, jump up there. What on earth was that?
Agent incapacitated.
It's got a diamondback.
Agent vital
Good lord.
signs 0.
Oh, that was a good shot. Alright, let's go do conflict. I know I said next time I die, and we're already like 3 deaths later.
Safe area entered.
Let's go back here. You can farm DZ exclusive blueprints in Descent or Retaliation. True. Yeah, they've opened that up more over time. And again, I don't really have an issue with that. I don't think they should tie a bunch of exclusive items to PvP when people don't want to do it. What did I just extract? This. And this, probably. Alright. That reminded me that I should see if I can craft any reconstructed caches. We have 13. Oh, I could do a bunch. Holy. I don't even know how many more blueprints I need. Solo only PvP doesn't stop 4 or more friends miking up and doing the same thing. If the player pool is large enough and you have to matchmake into the experience, then it's a lot less likely that you could get in with 4 friends. But yeah, I mean, that's always going to be a risk, you know. That's just kind of the nature of humans in gaming. Alright, let's stock up on these. We're going to be able to get a lot. I like that they changed, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they changed the, you can now see the contains part of each cache. So this like specifies that it gives you a legacy seasonal named item and then a crafting blueprint. Pretty nice. Like the conflict ones will say chance for an exotic item. It just helps for clarity. Did get Fox's Prayer from Reconstructed. That was my second birthday. Nice. Yeah, that's a good one to have. Postman said, guess what I did? You bought an Xbox because you finally admitted that it's the best platform. No, what did you do? Postman delivered the mail. There we go, Chris. That's a good guess. So when I get to 40, what's an easy to get endgame build to start on? The top recommendation, Lance, is pretty much always Striker. So Striker is a gear set. As you can see right here, I've got 4 pieces of it on this build. And once you get to 40, you should see the countdown game mode up here in the top right of DC, above Dark Zone East. This lets you choose your own targeted loot, so you can go and select Striker if that's what you want, or whatever else. But yeah, by putting together a pretty basic Striker build, 4 pieces of it and whatever else you have, like, you'll already be well on your way to a decent build. All right, let's run some conflict. I'm going to see if I can't get a pry objective for it. Perfect. Score 3 kills. Since you're adamantly against owning a PS5, I gave my spare one to my brother. Oh, man. I'm not adamantly against owning one. I just don't know. I wouldn't really do much with it. Of course, I could team up with you guys. But then I'd have to play and make a new account. If you can find a way to make it so that there's an extra like 12 hours in the day, if we could have like 32-hour days, then I would probably have the time to grind up another Division account on PlayStation. Well, I hope your brother appreciates the the generosity of that. I will, Postman, at some point, I will get on Helldivers. It will happen. I can't promise when, but I'll do it. And we'll dive it up. What's up, Harry? Doing well. How are you? What's your conflict build? I've got the Tinkerer, Measured, and Streamline on an AK, Umbra, and one-piece Fenris with Vigilance. Yeah, Lance Striker is still quite good, which I think is silly. I think they should have nerfed it quite a while ago, but nerf is a bad word in this community. You can't say it. Come on, 6 out of 8. Rattler with the 5 gifteds. Thank you so much. 5 more gifted memberships going to Boxy, Rico. Hope that's the right way to say it. 200-pound Bella and Stelu. Sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong. But welcome, folks. If you're here, please give Rattler a thank you in the chat. Rattler, appreciate the generosity, my friend. It's very kind. What does that take us to? 33 new members this stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, Aikido, you have to just accept that it's not going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. Strike with Elmos, Pestilence, another... Oh, no. Elmos with Negotiators and Umbra. I think we can do it. That's what I'm saying, Chris. That is what I'm saying. See, even Rattler was trying for you, Akito. Rattler, it's kind of you to try in Akito's name. But I think he's just cursed. That's the deal. What's up, Lentil? I've tried dozens of times to get the Tinkerer, still no luck. I'm starting to lose it. Have you done the mission on Master? Because you get a guaranteed if you complete the mission on Master.
Wipe out the enemy before you run out of reinforcements.
Postman and Mallory, yeah, there is a new Scorpio skin, which looks pretty cool. I just don't use the Scorpio enough, I think, to justify getting it. But that's there. Otherwise, they brought back 2 previous bundles with the Blackout and what is it called? Chat, the bad guy? Bad man outfit? I don't know. Thought I heard someone behind. They're climbing? Yeah, he's right here. I know you're there, and I'm going to wait for you. Yeah, teammate knows, too. Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know I landed right in the middle of everybody. That was unfortunate.
Medical assistance needed.
I hardly even saw them.
Agent down. Agent vital sign.
Master difficulty scares me.
0.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I do think matchmaking for it, you know,
An agent needs assistance.
as long as you're there and you're shooting your gun, then if you can matchmake into a group of 4, I bet they can carry the weight for you. But otherwise, I wish you best of luck continuing to try on the lower difficulties. It'll happen eventually, I believe.
Agent down. An agent needs assistance.
Oh, there's a guy down back there?
Boost about to come online.
Oh, I got the full. Nice. Oh, sorry, teammate. I did not know you were down behind us. Oh, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Boost online. Agent down.
I saved one teammate, but in the process lost the other. Need to see if I can't claim. Oh,
Agent needs assistance.
the other guys are coming. I'm gonna see if I can grab this.
Allies are acquiring the boost. Allies have
Missed my
acquired the
melee.
boost.
That's okay. Where are they gonna pop out from? He's right here on the van.
Agent down. Immediate medical assistance needed.
That was close.
An agent needs assistance.
Most of my team has died. I'm gonna see if I can let these guys pass by. Go back. Because there's no radar, so we might as well abuse it. I really wish they would change that. I get why Red Storm originally didn't do it, but the the days of that vision of conflict are long gone. I don't even know what's happening in the chat anymore. Postman and Nikito
Agent down.
are rambling off. What's happening? Where do they go? I thought I was going to hear somebody run by, but I heard nothing. Are they all in middle?
I'm sending you a specialization supply drop.
An agent needs
Okay.
assistance.
Where's that spec drop coming in? Back here. I was going to wait and bait somebody, but I don't think anyone's near me, so I'm just going to grab it so that we
Supply
have
drop
it,
being claimed by friendly.
and then I'll hide.
The
Someone's coming.
supply drop was just picked up by a friendly.
Yeah, push me. It'll be safe. Shoot, I didn't get either of them with it. That's no good. Dang it.
Agent down.
Alright, well I got my
Vital signs critical.
teammate's ammo. Otherwise that was kind of a fail.
Agent down. Agent killed.
Half way to the finish.
I'm not doing nearly as well as I thought I was.
An agent needs assistance.
You don't have many reinforcements.
Dang, they got both of our teammates just like that.
Hostile hive detected.
I think one of them just spawned in, so I'm going to see where they might go. Maybe, unless I made that up, but I thought I saw one come back. Now one died.
Agent down.
This one dude's gonna come from behind me.
There are no more rogue reinforcements. Eliminate whoever's left.
Boost about to activate.
And another one just died who's respawning, so I'm gonna wait here.
Boost now active.
If he doesn't run here, then he went to the other street. Oh. Hello. How you doing? Now the last one, I don't know. He should be somewhere out here. I got him. GG's team.
It's a win.
Does Conflict have any rewards? Yes, it has quite good rewards. You get caches from it, which drop items that are of legendary quality, and they have a decent chance to give you exotics. So Conflict is quite rewarding. And you get a lot of Shade XP. You can get like 2 to 3 levels per game if you perform decently. Alright, we need one more game. I'm going to back out quick and pop a new prio objective, and then we'll do it. That'll be the last thing of the stream. I played so many RogueGold missions but never got the backpack. Am I doing something wrong? So there should be 6 time trial projects in total for RogueGold specifically. And it's from that 6th one that you get the backpack. So I'm not sure how many he might have done, but there are 6 of these projects in total. And that final one gives it. I need to go and do these before the event ends. I haven't completed anyone's anyone's thing. PvP 195, I think that's Dark Zone. Oh, nice. I thought the last one just gave me 200 something. So that's fine. Perfect. Legendary quality gear meaning lots of max rolls? Yes. So the way the difficulties work in the game is that they just raise the minimum possible stat roll, which means you're more statistically likely to get god rolls. So yeah, legendary quality is the best in the game. Missed the start of the stream. Could you talk about the October events? Sure. There's 2 main things coming up for Division 2. We're getting Survivors news this month on the new content that's on the way probably next year. We don't know what that news will be. It's teased that there will probably be a dev stream, so maybe they're going to talk about it in that. And then the Halloween event is going to be beginning, which looks to be the largest seasonal event that the game has ever done. There's going to be world decorations. There's going to be a project chain, new named weapon. There's going to be a new boss with like open world warhounds to hunt, and you get pieces of an outfit. So a bunch of stuff coming there, and that should be kicking off on the 21st, as far as we know. The creator projects are really rewarding. You can get the projects for multiple characters. Yeah, I mean, you can see named items, exotic components. They're quite good to do. Just for the non-cosmetic rewards alone.
A day when nobody comes knocking is a good day.
What would you prefer, skirmish or conflict? You mean like between Division 1 and 2, Treasy? Are you including Last Stand in skirmish, or you're saying like just the skirmish mode in Division 1 compared to this? Did you have any say in the design of the backpack? By the way, congrats, I've been grinding. Thank you very much, Chris. No, I did not. We just sent over our branding files. So like I sent them my, the design that you see on the hoodie there, and I sent them the design that's on the patch, and they did the rest. Yeah. I think if I had wanted to like give some input, I could, but it wasn't like we could pitch like custom items or anything. They had kind of a template that they were going to be following. Survivors, I'm guessing, will release in March 26, as Division 1 released in March. I wish, John, I really wish that were true, but I don't think so. Because on the roadmap they put March and they said anniversary event plus like mystery Division 2 content, but then they put Survivors after that with a TBA date. So yeah, I'm thinking probably more like this time next year. Might be a bit closer to what we'll see, but I wish. Yes, with Last Stand? Oh, then 100% Division 1. I mean, Last Stand is peak organized Division PvP. Alright. Let's get it.
Defeat the enemy before your reinforcements are spent.
Last game of the stream, it's got to go well, right?
Hostile drone detected.
I didn't look at any of their builds, which is probably a mistake.
Hostile Stinger Hive detected.
Oh!
Hostile defender drone detected.
You thought you were going to win that beam battle. Get out of here. And now I'm going to be... They might win a 2-on-1, that's for sure. Good lord, I was not ready for that. One's still around that corner. There's one behind too. Team, thank you. I was like, surely I can't be the only one being targeted here. They're going to keep doing that push though. Oh, did they push around the corner? Good stuff, guys.
Agent, priority objective available.
We got a free pair of Exodus gloves, just like that. This is risky, but I'm going to try this. Okay, I didn't know if they were going to be waiting right on the corner. I see you up there. Oh. You don't see a
Agent needs assistance.
regular explosive sticky bomb all that often. He's down!
Immediate
Somebody better get that
assistance
finish.
needed. Agent down. Agent vital signs 0.
Postman said universal constants, death, taxes, and Mallory wanting waffles. It's very true.
Boost online.
Mallory, I'm shocked that you didn't spam out the waffle emote. I think that should just be the universal sign for wanting waffles, you know?
Hostile Stinger Hive detected.
What would you say the biggest differences are between Last Stand and Conflict?
Detected.
I mean, probably just the fun factor. You know? 8v8 on big maps is pretty fun. Conflict has had its moments over the years, but it's just too...
Hostile defender
It's too
drone
constrained.
detected. Agent down.
Shoot.
Boost needed.
That's one way to do it. All three of them just respawned. Oh, there's that last guy. Does he see me? I hope not.
Boost has expired.
Teammate, you better see him. Okay, I think they're fighting each other. No, he's one shot, he's one shot, he's one shot, he's one shot.
Agent down.
Dang it.
Agent deceased.
YM, have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday.
The enemy is about to be pulled out. You're too strong for them.
An agent needs assistance. Agent down.
For next season with the bot companion, what would you want it to be? Like a drone or an actual NPC, like a friendly rogue? I'll be honest with you guys, and this is not me trying to be negative for no reason. I don't really care that much about the AI companion thing. I know a lot of people do, which is mostly where my excitement does come from it, because I think the community getting stuff they want is awesome, and that's okay that I'm not super like stoked about that feature. I've just never really cared about that kind of thing. I know for a lot of people they're like, yeah, we want AI companions and all that. I imagine it's gonna get in my way more than help me or be cool. I'll happily eat my words. Maybe I'll be totally wrong on that. We have to wait and see what they have planned.
Agent needs assistance.
But I just don't care that much, to be honest with you. Between those two things, I would hope it's something that's not doesn't feel too much like a skill. Like if it's a drone, then it's like, well, we already have a drone that we can run. So I feel like having an actual NPC would probably be cooler. But I'm just curious to see how that plays into the gameplay in terms of like actually being helpful. When the power creep is already so high, why would we need a companion? You know? But we'll see. We know nothing about it. I'm sure they have plans and answers to a lot of those questions. GG. 2 for 2. They did heavily hint that it might be one of the guys on the season art. Yeah, I think there's a decent chance that it's a True Sun companion, since those were the two guys on the main pane of the seasonal deal. And the season's called Mutiny. Cameron wants to know what the build is. Here it is. Tinkerer for Umbra. I'm using an AK with Measured and Streamline. Got Vigilance on the backpack. 4 red cores, 2 blues. It's quite good. Danny wants no review of the outfits. I actually went and redid these recently because I had a bunch that I just didn't use. This is one. Kind of got a hunter-ish look, you know? Then I've got the one with my merch. I've got this one. That's just kind of another all-black tactical look. And then the Recruit a Friend outfit. Because I just think it's pretty neat. So, yeah. Alright. Chris is heading out. Good time, because I am too. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Truly, this stream ended up being a lot more fun than I was... I shouldn't say that I was anticipating. I always have fun. I didn't know how many people would show up when there wasn't much happening this week, but I think we had a lot of good discussions, and we just hung out, which is always a lot of fun. So thank you to the 300 people that were here at one point. We got 200 now. We almost got 300 likes. That's insane. 33 new members. Thank you all, as always, for the generosity and being awesome. What was I going to say? Next week, I've not yet decided if I want to do a stream on Tuesday. Again, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot going on until the 21st for the Halloween event, so we'll see. I am contemplating doing a stream on Friday for the Arc Raiders server slam. Maybe I'll do a poll or something to see if people want to see that. But yeah. And there are going to be a few Arc Raiders videos coming to the channel this month, so if you want to help support, trust me, it's not going to replace Division stuff. You don't have to worry about that. But if you want to help support me trying out a different game for a few videos, check them out. Give them a like or a dislike if you don't like them. But, you know, check them out and see if you think they're any good, I should say. All right, I'll stop rambling. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. I'm excited for the stuff that we got coming later in the month. And as always, thank you for being wonderful, wonderful peeps. All right, I will see you later. Until then, RogueGold out.